Good evening, everyone. This is the December 16th, 2025 meeting of the Wolfeboro Planning Board. The meeting is starting at 7:03 p.m. We were delayed due to setup issues. I apologize. My name is Doug Breskin. I'm the chairperson of the Wolfeboro Planning Board. To my left, we have Peter Goodwin and Roger Murray. To my right, we have John Thurston, who's the representative of the Select Board, Nancy Wiley, Kathy Barnard, and Julie Jacobs. And I guess we need a bunch of alternates this evening, so...
you've got two of them, right?
Yeah, so Kathy and Julie, would you both be willing to sit?
Yes, I will.
All right. We don't have any formal hearings on the agenda this evening. The first thing we're going to do is have some public comment. I believe Mr. Lagunas would like to come up and speak about an issue that he's been having. If you'd like to address us, please.
How's everybody tonight?
If you could identify yourself.
Nick Laganis, Carroll County Construction, representing Tom and Priscilla Hollenbeck at 29 Smith River Road, also known as Doors Way off Witten Neck. I'm here because we are applying for, or following the ordinance 175-55.1 for a lot with no frontage. In order to get the building permit, it states I need a special exception from the ZBA, and under 175-55.1 Section C1, it says I need review and comment by the planning board. So I'm here. So I have some maps and things like that if you'd like.
Yeah, if you'd like to present whatever it is you have and familiarize the board here with the issue that you're facing.
We can share.
We can share.
Okay.
So the maps before you show the existing conditions and the proposed conditions that were prepared by Norway Plains. The current house is non-conforming and in the setback. The new proposed plan for the lot meets all the setbacks, town and state regulations and requirements. I also have copies if you'd like to see them. The warranty deed, Priscilla and Tom purchased it this past spring. And then I have the existing right-of-way paperwork that's dated back in 1919. If you'd like copies of that stuff.
All right, well, why don't you go ahead and explain why you're here today?
It states here under 175-55, under C1, that I need review and comment by the planning board in order to go to the ZBA to get a special exception to get a building permit.
And what would you like us to comment on?
That's up to you.
Well, we don't understand as a board here today why you're going to the ZBA.
Because I need, in the town ordinance, it says that in order to get any building permit on a non-conforming lot under lots with no frontage, that you need a special exception permit.
Okay, so you're applying to the ZBA for a special exception.
Yes.
For a currently non-conforming building on a non-conforming lot with no frontage. And if I understand correctly, it's your proposal to replace that non-conforming structure with a conforming structure.
Yes, sir.
And you've been having difficulty getting a building permit because you need the special exception.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I also have a denial letter here, too, if you want it, that Joel had done, because I need the denial letter in order to go to the ZBA. So I have copies of all that stuff.
Okay, very good. So I guess give the board here a moment to review the paperwork.
Yep. Would you like this other stuff, the deed and all that stuff?
If anybody from the board would like to see it, that's fine, yeah.
There's the ordinance on top, and then there's the deed and the right-of-way paperwork behind that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why does this have no frontage?
The question is, why does the lot have no frontage?
That's how it was created in 1919, well before us.
So this is a pre-existing non-conforming lot.
Right, but doesn't it go out to the road?
Yes.
It has a driveway head that goes out to the road, but it doesn't have the required minimum lot frontage for a new subdivided lot. So it's a pre-existing non-conforming based on the width that's exists right now. So it has its own criteria.
There's also a small map in that packet I gave you. That was back in 2014, the town issued this, which was highlighted in yellowish orange, the lots with no frontage that were of concern, that were undeveloped. And as you can see, the lot that we have has a pink star on it, on Smith River there. And that's not highlighted as of 2014.
That's on the fourth page of the packet.
Right.
So just for the planning board's information, the reason the applicant is before us today is because in the procedure for getting the special exception from the ZBA, the applicant is required to get a review and comment from the planning board.
I have a question. So if there's an existing home, you're going to tear down and build a new one?
Yes.
In the same place?
No, the existing house is non-conforming in the setback. The new one is conforming to all town and state rules and
Okay. Are
regulations.
they the same size, the same footprint?
Not exactly the same footprint, but relatively the same size.
Okay.
You can see it on the second map there that says proposed.
So is that where the house is?
No, that's just
That's the current, and then the proposed.
the existing.
So it meets all of the other requirements? Okay, including from the shoreland,
Yes.
from the shorefront?
Yep.
Thank you.
And it meets the unaltered and everything else. That would seem to be an improvement.
I would agree. More non-conforming.
I would suggest that if the house was going to be built much larger, that might be a real issue, but it doesn't seem to be in this case.
No, it isn't. Nope.
And there are no wetlands on this property?
There's some delineated there, but we meet all the setbacks from that
Yeah,
as well.
Okay, but it meets all right.
Yep.
Okay.
Are they keeping the same septic and
No,
well?
new septic up to state code.
New.
New, yes.
Nancy, you can pull your mic down towards you if you want to speak.
Okay.
So what are we supposed to do in this particular case? Are we supposed to make a comment as to it's okay, or are we supposed to?
Well, no, I don't believe that we're required to say it's okay. It's, all it says is to come before the planning board for review and comment. It does not say approval, it just says comment.
Right.
So-
And
I guess that
it meets all of the zoning,
Yeah.
it meets all of the zoning requirements.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're commenting.
Yeah. We've reviewed it very verbally, I think.
Where is
So
the new septic going? It's not marked on this.
It's behind the garage, or to the south of the garage, next to the driveway.
So I would make a motion that the
I see it.
planning board has reviewed and consent on the proposal by Nick Leganis on the application tonight. It meets all the code and zoning requirements, and he's provided documentation to the new septic and the structure location, and it's ready to move on to the next step.
Okay, I'll second that.
Yep.
Could I make an amendment to that to delete the reference to code? Because that's not our bailiwick.
Okay,
All right, John accepts the amendment?
yep.
Kathy, you accept the second?
Okay? Yes.
Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. You
I do have one other
Yes, go ahead.
thing. There's a change to pursuant SB 281. There's supposedly a form waiver that I'm supposed to also provide the town, like a liability release form.
Yes?
The town is for a Class 6 road. There is nothing for a driveway. So would it be the same form, or am I looking for a form that doesn't exist?
I don't know the answer to that. I suspect you may, if the form specifically references Class 6 roads, which you're not using,
Correct.
then it may be a form that doesn't exist, and perhaps just a letter rather than a form could be used. My understanding is the goal is to release the town from liability should services be needed.
Right.
It's not clear to me that you have to use that form to release liability.
Okay.
I would disagree slightly. I would take the form and tweak it.
All right, have the
Because
lawyers.
I think
have the
it's
lawyers
supposed to
amend
be
it.
recorded in the registry of deeds, isn't it?
Yeah, the select board is supposed to do that.
Yeah, so I would tweak it to make it a private drive.
Okay.
Just change the wording from Class 6 road to private road or private drive or whatever it is that's applicable.
Is that a motion, Roger?
Sure.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, very good.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Want to put this in your stash? Did you keep everything and I don't? In case we need it later, we'll know where it is. It's your house.
All right, the next item on the agenda, I believe, is for a preliminary hearing for Timothy DeWitt at lots 182-003. Is that right?
Did you get this?
Yes.
Seth.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Frank Mann. I'm with Verdantis LLC. If that wasn't clear, I'm Frank McMahon. And I'm representing Mary and Tim DeWitt. We're proposing a subdivision on Martin Hill Road. This is it's a small road, and it is public road because it was shown on a tax map, an old Wolfeboro tax map. And it intersects Route 109. This is at the top of the hill as you're driving away from Lake Wentworth, right at the crest of the hill. This property is 65 acres. It's this long rectangular lot, and the owners, they are proposing these 3 lots for their children. And we have, this is a split district, so this is rural agricultural and this is rural residential. And these portions of these proposed lots are in the rural agricultural district, and this portion is the rural residential.
And just for clarity, I'm going to narrate this a little bit for recording purposes. The proposal is to take this roughly 65-acre lot and subdivide it into 4 lots. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right.
We're subdividing to 4 lots, and each of these proposed lots are greater than 3 acres. In the rural residential district, that is the minimum lot size, and there's also a minimum of frontage of 200 feet, which we have on each of the lots. Proposed lot number 2 has 200 feet on Route 109. Proposed lot number 3 has 200 feet on Martin Hill Road, and the same goes for lot 4 with 200 plus feet on Martin Hill Road. In order for this back lot to remain compliant, it needs 200 feet of frontage on Martin Hill Road as well. So we've created this tab that reaches down past the rural, through the district line into the rural residential district so that it only needs 200 feet. Martin Hill Road's 600 feet plus or minus, so it can support 3 lots, 200 feet each. Then there is a drive.
I'm sorry, with that little extension that you just described, does it meet the form factor requirement?
It does meet the form factor requirement. If you look at the top left, the majority of the lot is regularly shaped.
Very good.
So we also have a proposed driveway easement because This driveway will be serving all 3 lots, so it is a requirement to have a 30-foot right-of-way around that proposed driveway. We have then, so this easement this lot would be the servient lot, this lot would be a recipient lot, and lot 4 would also be a recipient lot. So lot 2 and 3 are recipient, lot 2 and 4 are recipient, lot 3 is the servient lot for that driveway easement. We've got well radii on each lot, which do not intersect with the abutting lots, and we have 3 4,000 square foot areas since this will require state approval. These are under 5 acres. We've done lot loading calculations. I apologize for the small text, but lot 2 can support 18 bedrooms. We are not putting that on the lot. We're proposing 4-bedroom homes on each lot. So, but it can support 18. Same with lot 3, and then lot 4 is 15 lots. We've done a wetland delineation, and the well radii and wetlands have been subtracted from the lot areas during these lot loading calculations, and it's all shown here. And the remainder of the original 65-acre lot is it becomes 50.5 acres, and that is of course not a DES lot. It's much greater than 5 acres.
And the reason for the proposed driveway is because the state won't allow you 3 driveways or 2 driveways coming out on 109, is that correct?
Yeah, we found we couldn't even have 1 driveway coming off of 109.
Okay. That's the reason for it.
That's the reason for the driveway off Martin Hill Road. And the driveway which the current owners use for access will remain.
Yeah.
So I seem to remember in the last meeting, there was a comment by the board that was asking for a maintenance agreement.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
For what? Maintenance for what? Housing?
For the road.
Right away.
Yeah.
We did
Of the driveways?
well, your firm did a subdivision similar to this for somebody by the name of Flint. And on that, we requested that there be a document requiring all the lot owners to contribute to the cost, or the 3 lot owners to contribute to the cost of maintaining the easement.
Yeah, Flint, I believe, was just down the road from here.
Yeah,
So in this case, you're saying these 3 lots.
would need to be bound. Yeah, Brian Berlin did the
Yeah,
subdivision.
That's right.
Yeah, I was under the impression that that's what we were going to see tonight, actually. That agreement.
This is an entirely different subdivision, but it's 2 lots down from that other one.
Yeah. And this is an informal, so,
This is
Right,
informal.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah, this is the
I
first time,
mean,
John.
Yeah.
the issue is that 100 years from now, Lot 2 could say, I'm not going to do anything for the driveway, and you guys just deal with it. So therefore, there needs to be an agreement in perpetuity as to who maintains that space, that driveway.
I agree.
So that would be in the easement language, would be in the deed of
Yeah.
each of these proposed lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, basically it would bind all of them. And it would be in recordable form. You could do a declaration.
So my apologies, this looks so much similar to one down the street as, it's the same concept, the driveway going across the three different
Yeah.
properties.
Same hill.
Yeah,
But ultimately, what you're doing is you're protecting future landowners from problems.
correct.
And, without some, legal agreement on who maintains it, it can be a real problem.
Yeah, it's not a private road, it's a driveway. I know with private roads, you need some sort of agreement. It's in the road, the language for the road. In this case, it's the only way to access this lot. And yeah, we will put that in the easement language. We haven't gotten to that point yet. It's more about the feasibility of the subdivision. But We'll definitely put that in the easement language, in the language of each deed.
So it's not always about what's there right now, it's always about what happens in the future. You know, the families, you know, somebody can only live so long, and then another person owns the property, and then another person owns the other property, and so that's what you're protecting, the future.
Okay.
I could not find the factor calculation on the plan, and I would like to see them
Okay,
when you
yeah.
come back in.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of questions for the board.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, where you have a lot with frontage on two roads, one on Governor Wentworth and one on Martin Hill, have you combined them? I mean, we're less than 4 feet short on lot 3. And I'm just not sure how that has been interpreted in the past by the board.
3 feet short of what?
200 feet of frontage.
But the total road frontage on
Two roads.
the two, yeah, but is there road frontage? It's a road.
It's a
And
road,
you
and it's
have
a
one
town
road and
road.
you have another road, and the combined frontage is about 400 feet.
But what do you do if it's a corner lot? Do you only need the frontage once?
Well, yeah, you can have one front. You got to choose.
You could be sufficient just with the 201 feet. So that would,
Is that how the board has interpreted this? I don't know how you've interpreted it, so I'm asking the question.
That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, you can only have one front. So they've chosen to be on the town road. That's
Well,
my feeling.
But frontage is any state road or town road.
Yeah.
So you can have frontage on a state road that adds up with the town road.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yes.
well, I would suggest with the logic which you're presenting, Lot 2 ends up having 201 feet on Martin Hill Road. Is that right?
No.
No. Lot 3 has 200 feet on Martin Hill Road. Lot 4 has 233 feet, and Lot 1 ends up having 200 feet. So unless we're going to disqualify road frontage on Martin Hill Road, then we have met the requirement, haven't we?
Well, I looked at again, I don't know how you've interpreted this in the past. I looked at the zoning ordinance, which was not terribly helpful on this point. But if you have a corner lot, and is this a corner lot? Arguably, it's a corner lot. Both roads count as front setback, or subject to front setbacks for purposes of determining the setback. So if you were building down by the road, which obviously you're not, but there you need to be setback, the required setback from the highway and from Martin Hill Road. And that was the closest analogy I could find, but
The front setback on the plan, it is the road front,
yeah,
road.
I
right.
was using that other example.
Yeah, to your exact point, the setback shown on the plan is larger on both roads.
Yeah, which takes into account that.
So it's larger than 30 feet?
It's 30 feet.
It says 30 feet.
The others are 25, so the side and rear are 25, and the road was 30.
I mean, if you move the line slightly, you'd have 200 on, you have plenty on lot 2, but I just don't know how that's been interpreted in the past. Was there a reason for not doing 200, making the frontage on the highway 200 feet?
There wasn't a particular reason. The client did request that they wanted a Martin Hill Road address for this lot. That's why we gave them 200 plus feet on Martin Hill Road. We didn't foresee it being a Route 109 address. So there's no,
Right, you still have, what, 197?
if we could get another
You
foot
could
or
do
two on there.
You could do 201, and then if you took part of lot 2, but that was just a question I had.
Roger, how many feet of road front do you want Lot 3 to have?
I'd be happier if it had 200, but...
It has 201 on Martin Hill Road.
But it does, there's 200 on Route 109.
Why does it need that?
It doesn't
The
need it.
regulation
You're supposed to have-
the
It doesn't
regulation
need it.
says 200 feet of road frontage.
Yeah.
But if
You
it's a
don't need
corner...
it twice.
Well, you've got 2 front setbacks here.
I don't see.
I don't see that at all. He's got the frontage, and that's what people like to do. They want to have a Martin Hill address. So you made it work.
Martin Hill
Awesome.
address, one way or the other.
You could even make the case that perhaps Governor Wentworth Highway wasn't there, and that lot then would have 200 feet of road frontage.
Well, Roger, is one of your concerns that if the frontage is considered to be on Martin Hill Road, then the portion of the lot that is on Governor Wentworth could be considered side rather than front?
No, that's clearly in the ordinance, that's a front.
Why?
Because that's the way it's defined in the zoning ordinance. It's a corner lot. It's got 2 front setbacks, as acknowledged here, but it does not address the frontage requirement that I could find in the zoning ordinance, which is why I raised the question.
So in reality, it's a wetland anyway, so it's not going to be relative to the orientation of the house, so that's not going to be a question.
No, I don't think that's Roger's concern. I think his concern is that if it's a corner lot and the ordinance requires a minimum frontage on both roads on the corner lot, then perhaps this doesn't meet it if it in fact should be 200 feet.
I could not find anything in the ordinance that addressed this, other than the setback, which they have shown correctly.
So,
why don't
Roger,
we-
what you're really looking for, what you would like to have is that the boundary line between Lot 2 and 3, the one butting Governor Wentworth Highway would be moved 4 feet to the left. And that would then solve your problem.
Let's just jump to that chase since there's
It's a
nothing
bit more
built
than
yet.
3 feet actually, but yes.
4 feet.
But that affects the 4,000 square foot area for his septic field. Because the septic field on lot 4 is, you see the line at the bottom corner of it. So if-
We're moving it the other way. If
Over into 2,
The
Doug.
lot between, or the line between 2 and 3, if it was moved 4 feet to the west, it would end up solving the problem.
That would make everybody happy. There's no
And
houses
then,
there
then we
yet.
don't have to argue it
It's just a
anymore.
line.
well, then the proposed well at the top is in the setback area also, on the right-hand side of lot 1 at the top.
No,
See
we're
the
talking the
circle?
line between 2 and 3.
John, just the bottom of the line, maybe just the bottom piece of the line, not the top.
But
Just a
if you move the line at the bottom, I mean, aren't they're trying to create a straight line straight up.
Well, if we were to add, if we had to have 200 feet of frontage on lot 3, we would have to move this point, the intersection point,
4 feet.
down the hill
4 feet.
this way.
Yeah,
And as a result, this lot would be below 3 acres. So we'd have to move the top that way to give it additional area. It wouldn't be a problem. It could be done. I was under the impression you only need 200 feet of frontage on a road, just like any lot that might have another road abutting it. I personally have never heard of you needing compliant road frontage on every single road that touched the lot.
I guess I would say that's an arguable point in a court of law, that the route says 200 feet of road frontage, you have it, and why do you need it on 2 roads?
So I think what we probably should be doing here is we should probably be running this by the planner, and she can make the determination on what is needed.
Right.
The other thing that you might do, if you worry about it, is that you're worried about moving that line or that point on Governor Wentworth Highway 4 feet to the west. You could move the one which is up abutting Lot 1 4 feet to the east, which would then give you the exact same area.
Well,
It's not going to make a rectangular lot.
well, my next question, speaking of area, is that the rural agricultural requires 5 acres. And on the other subdivision, those were the lots that extended into the rural agricultural district were at least 5 acres. What do we do here where most of the lots are in rural residential, which is 3, and part of the 3 lots are in the area where 5 acres is required? I looked, there is a provision in the ordinance that talks about slopping over where a lot is bounded by, is separated by zoning districts, but that had to do with existing lots, and one was, I think, either 63 or sometime in the 90s, so that was not really much help.
So I have a question for you. Did the planner actually sit down with you at any point and go over this?
No.
No.
That's a problem. Because, I mean,
Yes, Steve Webster and I met with him.
yeah,
There's
but.
no planner.
But I'm just saying, we,
Right.
you know,
And
we could.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, we could erase a lot of this question of a doubt if if the town had a planner in place, or we were able to get you to the temporary planner so that you could not have to go through this back and forth, because I don't really think this is the place for us to be discussing whether or not we're the ones who decide whether or not you're in the 3 or the 5 or the 200 this way or 200 that way. That's really a determination by our planner, that's what they get paid for. And
They're trained.
we consent on the plan once they say it's good to go. So I'd like to see the planner take a look at this plan so that you can be all set and know that everything's all covered. Doug?
Right, and he hasn't been to TRC yet either, so that would,
Well, given that this is a preliminary review, I think you've heard some of the concerns, and certainly it would be useful, I think, for you to discuss it with the planner to get definition on what the decision might be.
And that's for this sort of potential proportionality issue with
Yes.
this is 3, that's 5, and most of it's in this district. The way, okay, I know that.
Roger has legitimate concerns, and I
Yes.
think,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. That's something that I did think about. I know that frontage, there's a provision for frontage where if your frontage is in a particular district, but another part of your lot is in another district, wherever your frontage lies, the minimum frontage for that district applies. It's not lot
We don't
area.
have anything like that, though, because I did try to find something. And I sympathize with being bounded because I've got a county line that runs through my house.
May I ask a question about?
Of course.
So there's a driveway easement we have proposed here. Then we've got these stems that intersect this driveway to reach the homes. Do those also need, does this portion here need an easement as well?
Yep.
Because this would be serving that lot?
correct.
yes.
I would think that any portion of the driveway or right-of-way that is used by an adjoining lot owner would require the easement and the maintenance agreement. So in that case, what you're looking for there, the wide portion, I'll call it, at the bottom of the diagram there, would need the maintenance agreement as well as the stem that goes over to, is it lot 4?
So I was wondering why, when you came off Martin Hill and you went past lot 4, why you just couldn't go straight up and parallel the boundary? You come in a little bit and then go straight up between lot 4 and lot 3.
With the
You're
driveway.
going to still need a section which is used by both properties. So
That's a good idea,
therefore,
John.
No,
it is the
just
same
to,
kind
just
of
to
agreement.
access lot 4, it's just so, I mean, you're only coming in the road a little bit, and then you're just going straight up, and you're on lot 4 the whole way.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about an easement. The only easement that you're gonna have is like 25 feet or something at the bottom down there. Do you know what I'm saying?
But who is going to maintain it? That's why you need to have an agreement.
Correct.
Right,
I'm
but
just,
everybody would have their own driveway. That makes more sense.
Perhaps I'm mistaken, but wouldn't that driveway you're suggesting, John, be in the wetland setback?
No.
You're talking about coming up here?
yeah, right, yeah.
Well, this is the wetland setback here.
Well, this line right here is, I'm wondering if it can just go right up along the, I don't know what that width is between the wetland setback and the boundary line.
There's a 50-foot setback
Well,
for septic.
come over here for a second. Doug is saying that this line right here is the wetland setback, but you have
Septic.
a space, like here's the boundary line right here, and you have a space right here.
That's a 10-foot septic setback.
But couldn't that be where the road goes from here straight up that way? That's what I'm saying. If you come off of here and then you just go straight up.
John, if there's 25% or 25 feet or 300 feet of driveway, there needs to be an agreement to how it is dealt with. It doesn't matter whether it's 25 feet or 300 feet. So, I don't think that's an issue. They need to make an agreement, and then we need to move on.
Yeah, but weren't there some different rules for driveways and setbacks? Just saying, for questions you can have later. I thought there were some different rules.
So you were going to say something.
The reason why I flipped this over is because I have topography on this side.
Yeah.
And the reason why we don't want to go straight up, as you're suggesting, is because the grade. It would be going straight up the hill. Drainage-wise, you get a rainstorm, water's flying down that driveway. This driveway follows the contour. So it's just on the side of the hill. It doesn't go up or down. And the owner requested it to be like that. It's a lot easier to construct.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Still gonna go straight up when he gets to his other road, though. It's steep. To get to number 4.
These may be constructed
Get number
differently.
4.
Yeah, these are sort of approximate as right here. This one's
That's downhill.
it's diagonal
Yeah.
to the contours. It's not perpendicular to the contours.
It's the number in 4 is like a little, you go downhill, then you come back uphill.
They may switch back. They all have to comply to the driveway regulations for grade. So
yeah.
whatever that is,
The slope,
they have to comply.
6
to
to
that.
9%, isn't it, Doug?
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
One other thing I'd suggest is that if you're worried about the lot size of Lot 2, you could move the north boundary line of those lots 10 or 20 feet north, because it is not going to affect the utility of lot number 1 at all.
We could move-
That's maybe simpler and better than to skew the lot number 2. And if you move that line, that north line, a little bit north, it's not a problem.
Are you suggesting doing that for that frontage?
No, do the whole thing. The whole north line. Yeah, just move that 10 feet north. And that's going to mean that you end up having the 3 acre of lot number 2 without any trouble if you end up making it a little narrower.
That would work. We could move that up 10 feet.
And the
20 feet.
property which you're dealing with, moving that line 10 or 20 feet north, is not affecting the value of lot number 1, and probably not the form line or the form factor.
Yeah, I would say it would very slightly negatively affect the form factor, but I think it would. I don't think these were close.
Yeah, it wouldn't disqualify it.
Yeah.
So your slope of your driveway would also be something that the planner would probably weigh in on. So your topography, like you said, you know, you're trying to meet that grade.
And just to point out, sort of to your point, these can be shifted. The exact position of these aren't absolutely crucial. As long as they look approximately like this, it's fine. We could shift that around.
All right, any further comments or questions from the board?
No, but I really think that he does need to meet with our interim planner first
Yes.
before proceeding.
I
You
would
have it?
also suggest that I am thankful that you're receptive to the comments we're making, and you're making notes on your drawings there, and that's appreciative.
That's why we're here.
Do you have any further questions for us?
In terms of the driveways complying to grade, that is a concern. I'm not concerned about this portion. On the final plan, do we need to show all driveways and that they comply just for subdivision approval, or is that a construction problem that comes later?
I'm not certain. Roger, do you have any information on that?
The question was, do you have to, could you rephrase that?
For subdivision approval, do we need to show the driveways leading to the homes, and do we need to show that they comply with grading? Is it required for us to show driveways leading to the homes for approval?
You need to show the driveways, and you've got the 30-foot width for the part that's serves all of the lots. I believe that's on the plan. I don't believe we're looking for road profiles.
But the planner would be able to shed light on that, because what we're looking, it's a fire apparatus issue where the fire truck has to be able to get to the house.
Yeah.
Right, there'd be turnarounds, things like that, up
Well,
by
I
the
mean,
home, or somewhere the fire truck can turn around, and all the grades would have to comply. I'm just wondering, do we need to show that on our final subdivision plan? I know I've done plans in the past where the final driveways aren't shown. That's sort of left up to.
Write that as one of your questions and
That's-
bring it to the planner.
But here, that's the only access to those lots. So for that reason,
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Number 4 could still come off Martin Hill Road farther up and have a little
Right,
bridge.
No, I think Roger's point is that once the homes are built and the driveway is installed, the only fire access to the lot will be on that driveway.
Yes, but are these where the houses are really going to be? He's just doing subdivision.
So this is the plan he's presenting to us, and we're approving this plan. So when he brings that plan to us and we approve that plan, that's the access that he's asking for.
Okay?
John, I don't think we were approving it, we're making suggestions and comments.
Yeah, we haven't approved it yet.
No, but I mean, we've got the spot for the well, we've got the spot for the septic. That house could change a little bit. It's not set in stone there. So any driveway that gets put in with this phantom house may not go there.
Well,
It's got the cut to
on lot
go.
4, there's not a lot of choice on where to put the house.
And those,
Right. But the driveway could come out farther over, and you could have a little bridge to go to the left over the wetlands. That could
Yeah,
work.
but that needs an approval also.
Do you see where I'm going here? It's
So-
not
Yeah, but that
only,
need-
this is the only thing to do,
So
you know,
he's-
or it could just sit there for a while, you know, and then when they decide to put that house in on number 4, that particular
But-
person, that
but he-
relative, could decide, oh, I want to put my driveway in a different place now.
I think
but
what we're
he's
doing-
going to have a defined easement in a particular space. The common driveway there is not going to be able to be moved.
Right.
And
Yes, but the
he's going to
common
have
driveway does not go over lot 4, is what I'm trying to tell you.
It does go over, all right, which is 4.
he's going to have a building envelope, and that driveway is going to head to that building envelope, and that's where, from the building envelope, that's where he's going to create his connection to that area right there.
And that's where the owner wants to locate the driveways.
So wherever the driveway, wherever it's shared, wherever it has an easement, that needs to be final and on the plan.
Yes.
Yes.
After that, for instance, in this area here, where it enters lot 2, the house, this is a suggested location for the plan. The home could end up down here, up there. This piece of the driveway, once it's on the lot, the unshared portion could be constructed in some other way. I think-
But at that point, like in other subdivisions that I've seen in town, when Rob was here, he required that last spot to have a hammerhead circular area so that there was a fire truck could actually turn around in that location.
And that was for subdivision approval?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that was up on Pleasant Valley Road that happened.
He wanted the turnaround
Is this-
in a driveway
He
or
he
in a
at the
cul-de-sac
last
street?
spot, at the last spot before it went on to that singular driveway.
Okay, here we are with this thing we're using one word for many things, subdivision. Is this a subdivision with sidewalks and streetlights and the whole bit? Or is this, we're just subdividing a lot into 4 pieces?
It's the same thing.
Is it?
You're subdividing it into lots. How you develop it is a separate thing.
Okay,
But-
'cause he's talking about in the subdivision
I'm
plans, it had to have everything finalized, all the way with the roads and everything.
Well, we're talking about access to the lots and how the safety factor is played into it. I didn't say anything about sidewalks and lighting and all that stuff. We're trying to give this gentleman a direction on how he's going to be able to divide his lots up, and then from that point, he's going to access his lots and what the requirement is going to be after that. And this is why we're making suggestions and pointing him to the direction of the planner so that he can get those finalized questions answered. So you can make your points to him and ask him what you
And-
want.
I'm also looking at, remembering back for a thing that we had driveways, we had 3 house lots, and that 4th one was causing a problem, and the 4th one had to come off of Route 28 instead of going up the driveway, because more than X number on that private driveway tipped it into being a private road. What's the number? Is it 3?
3.
Right.
Okay? Because it, you know, so I'm looking at 2 is like no problem, no big deal.
3.
You know, you start to hit 3 becomes a road, or is it still a driveway?
No, 3.
No,
You can have
you can have 3 lots subdivision off of 1 driveway.
And we've reviewed one similar to that with this earlier this year.
My understanding is with that, once one driveway serves 3 lots, it needs a 30-foot easement. Doesn't become a road, it just needs that.
I believe that's correct.
So to the turnaround point about the fire turnaround, are you suggesting that turnaround needs to exist on the shared portion of the driveway?
I would suggest that's something you'd have to discuss with the fire chief.
But I don't think you want to back down that hill.
Good point, Roger.
But I'm seeing them as driveways,
It's a,
you know? Like, whose house do you know that has a place for a fire truck to turn around in their driveway? That's something for the planner to look at, for sure. Because that's
And-
that
and for the
subdivision with
fire dep-
roads
and for the
versus,
fire
oh, some
department.
driveways.
and like
Who will
Kathy
see
said, the
this?
TRC is going to
Yeah,
review the
right.
application, so they'll be able to chime in on that.
Right.
Anything else, Julie?
I don't think
All
so.
right.
I think he should quit while he's ahead.
Thank you.
Any more questions for us?
I believe that's all I can think of right now.
All right. Well, as we've said, we suggest that you discuss this with our interim planner and make sure that the planner agrees with whatever you're doing, or maybe can give you advice on whatever other changes might be needed.
Would you suggest that before TRC?
Yes.
TRC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Planner then
Yes.
TRC. Right.
And that way, ideally, TRC will go smoothly for you.
Agreed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What's on the agenda?
All right, Peter, I believe you wanted to speak about natural resources?
Only the inventory.
Yes.
It has been about a 2-year slog, and it had to do with, we got the maps done, but then there was going to be the commentary on it, but that is now basically completed. There is some information which came in literally days before he was sending it to us, and I believe it's associated with fishing stuff. And so therefore, I believe that before the end of the year, we're going to have this. I got this from Lenore, and I have been able, because I guess I'm associated with the project, to be able to look at the maps. They are much improved from the ones which initially were there, as in the initial maps that were produced ended up having contiguous open space down on Sewell Road. That no longer exists on these new maps, so they have been much improved, and I would say that this is a very, very good job which has been done in the mapping department, and my brief scanning of the report, the commentary, is that it also is very accurate. Some of it ends up being talking about you know, the state of New Hampshire and how it relates to what's going on in Wolfeboro. And that's just what these reports do. But then there is more stuff which is specific to our town. It looks like all the prime wetlands are well delineated. It looks like that kind of stuff would be available to us. So I think it's a very good job. But this should maybe be made public in another week or two, which is different from it might get done next year.
Will the natural resources inventory be referenced in the Wolfeboro annual report?
I don't know. I would suggest that it would be referenced, but given that it is a thing, it is a report with 20 full-color maps and 60 or 70 pages, I would say it's something that should be referred to and then put online for those people who need it. I don't think that it should be put into the report because
No,
it
you're
kills
right.
trees.
Yeah, I didn't mean to print it as part of the
Right,
report,
right.
but just to reference it.
But it would be referenced, yes.
Yes.
So Peter, what will the maps be most useful for?
The maps will be useful for how particular lands are being dealt with, as in if you're doing a subdivision which is in an inappropriate place, These maps are going to end up showing that. That kind of map is there anyway, but it also ends up talking specifically about the critical areas, as in there is a rating system where if you are in a wetland, you get 2 points, and if you're in a scenic area, you get a point or 2. And so you put all those credits together, and the ones which have lots of real value end up having different colors to show where those are. And the highest rating ends up being red. And there's only about one red area on the map, which ends up being in the area of Warren Brook behind Warren Sands. And so, but there's a lot of stuff there, and that particular map, which talks about co-occurrence of things which are valuable to the town, may end up ultimately helping the Conservation Commission, saying we need to conserve this land, or it may end up pointing what land trusts to say, oh, this is a very important piece of property, we need to try to preserve it. And so therefore it is that kind of thing which is valuable. It also ends up having things about what the farmlands are and how those are being dealt with. I think that some of the maps go back to the previous one, as in there are different forest communities which haven't changed. The trees haven't walked around, and so therefore you have pine forest, you have other oak forests and things like that. So, but that's there too. If you were an area, you're putting your area or your property into current use, and your particular property happens to be in pine forest, you may get a different rating than someone who was in an oak forest.
Thank you, Peter. And while we're talking about you, has there been any progress on the shoreland permit that you're aware of?
I think I sent you something, didn't I?
You did, which I forwarded to Shanna. I just didn't know if you'd had any further discussion with Shanna.
Anyway,
And,
but I had a conversation with somebody who was a shoreline owner who would just remodel their house and painted it white, which, given the initial presentation I made to the board here previously, would have not been allowed. And then as I continued walking in the woods with these people, I started thinking of the fact that if you look around Lake Wentworth, if you look around Winnipesaukee, there are many, many white houses. And it seems unfair to say that, no, you can't have a white house. At the same time, I think that the way I wrote it, there would be a recommendation that you consider muted colors.
yes, that's right.
And you also find that if you go to a place like Squam Lake, they have done a pretty good job of having muted colors all around the lake. And so it is a nicer view shed. But I believe that the regulations for the lakefront or waterfront areas are going to be just associated with the lighting, dark sky compliant, and no lights shining out. And I think that on Lake Wentworth, there is one light that may have 22 shells going through it that Roger and I know about. No, it won't. I say that facetiously, but it is just blasting out. And those things to me are obnoxious, but they're grandfathered in, they can have them. Regulations for the ridge line or the higher properties which can be seen from a distance, the suggestion is that if you're above 700 vertical feet in the town of Wolfeboro, you would need to obey the regulations, which are dark sky compliant lights, no lights shining out, and muted colors. There would be the exception if when you looked at your property there was nothing which, when you look out from your windows, you're not going to be able to see anything, and so therefore you could have a white house. At the same time, the idea that you had to put on a muted color which would be 50% or less reflective is not a real onerous regulation. And I would suggest that it might even be more of a pain in the neck to try to get the exception than to just say, oh, I'll paint it nice gray, or I'll paint it a dark brown, and it will look just fine. So I don't think that this, this particular regulation is going to affect anybody really monetarily. John?
So I think the board here passed the lighting ordinance that is in sync with the noise ordinance. So if you have protected lighting, you can light all night long, but the lighting ordinance in the town is the same as noise ordinance after 10 o'clock at night. So if you have lighting that is bright, that casts, you are actually violating the lighting ordinance. But if you have protected lighting, you can keep your lighting and know that you're not violating the ordinance.
And John, if I recall correctly, part of that ordinance is that the light should not infringe on any neighboring or abutting property. Is that
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Your light should stay on your own property, and when you shine bright out to the side, you can pretty much guarantee you're not keeping the light on your own property.
And so this regulation is much in tune with that, and not really, it is very easy to follow it.
So there's been, a lot of news articles. News Center 6 did an article or a show on how it affects the insects and the bugs and all of the other parts of nature where people don't understand what the effects of just putting a light on the side of the house and how it casts affects the sky and the dark sky. And when you have a dark sky, you can actually see the Milky Way, and your kids can go out there and look at the stars, and when you're a quarter of a mile away, you can actually look across the horizon and say, I can tell that those lights aren't protected because the whole hue is in the air, and you can definitely tell that it's affecting the night sky.
So continue on with the shoreland. Roger, I know that Shanna was trying to meet up with you to have some discussion on that. Are you aware of that?
You told me that she was going to get a hold of me, and she actually did get a hold of me on something completely different, and made no mention of the shoreline ordinance.
Okay.
So I'm still here.
All right. Well, she'll catch up with her. She's got a pretty heavy workload, I'm sure, so I'm sure she'll catch up with you.
One of the things that I ended up doing was using old topographic maps, coloring with different colors the areas above 800 vertical feet in Wolfeboro and 700 vertical feet in Wolfeboro. And it turned out that the differences were not dramatic.
And just to be clear, when you talk about 700 and 800, you're talking about above sea level, is that right?
Above sea level, yes, not above Wolfeboro. There's nothing 800 feet above the town of Wolfeboro here. I don't think. So it is 800 feet above, or 700 feet above sea level, and it didn't really change who was having to deal with it, and so I believe it's a reasonable number.
Very good.
It may end up being that if this is going to be a warrant article, that map should in fact be published to show who is going to be affected and who's not. But I don't think it's really going to be an issue. The other thing that is associated with the ridge line is that no building can have a roof line which is above the altitude of the ridge. In other words, you aren't going to be the thing sticking up there.
Right. And to be clear, when you talk about the altitude of the ridge, you're talking about ground level or tree level?
Ground level.
Ground level, yes. Not
tree level. Mm-hmm. And because they can then cut down the trees and there you're sticking up.
Right.
alternatives would be to say that you have to have, X amount of trees in front of you, but then the trees grow, and then you're gonna have to trim the trees, or you're not gonna trim the trees, and so it's just like, keep it as simple as possible and have the regulation as easy to deal with as possible.
So doing a quick Google here, the general elevation at Foss Field is 512 feet above sea level, and Moody Mountain reaches about 1,400 feet above sea level.
So you couldn't put a house up there on the top of the mountain. And if you did, it would have to be dark sky compliant.
Very good. Roger, you have some comments?
Are we talking about doing something with zoning amendments this year?
Well, we were, but we haven't made very good progress with it.
Yeah, I mean,
And we're getting very close to the deadline for public hearings.
yes, because
Well, we're getting close, and we haven't discussed really as a group.
That's right.
Any of them.
and I think if we are going to, I have a concern about proposing a zoning ordinance at the last minute, and I think we need to have, if we're going to propose a zoning amendment, there should be 2 public hearings on it.
They're required to be, yes.
Well, no, only one is required, but then you can't make any changes, so you're inviting the public to come in and comment on something which you can't change, and I don't think that's helpful.
I agree, yeah.
And,
And if we're going to be hiring a new planner in the future, they should probably be part of that discussion.
Yes.
Yes, well, it's, while we're in the process of trying to hire a planner, it could in theory take a year to happen.
Well, it could. I heard that there was some applicants that have sent in their applications, so, and I don't know where that's going. Maybe that's a good question to ask tomorrow night at the select board meeting.
Yeah, when I last spoke with the town manager, I know that he had, I believe, 3 applications to consider. I don't know how those have moved or if they have moved.
is he going to, is he going to appoint another search committee?
That hasn't been mentioned, so I don't know the answer. Any other topics that you'd like to bring up? Anybody?
Yeah, we have 2 pending projects here that we were supposed to look at on December 2nd.
Yes, so I spoke with Shanna about that. We have to renotice those hearings, and we're also, as far as I understand, still waiting for updated documentation from the applicant.
Okay, but they're going to be actually renoticed? And
Yes, they will have to be renoticed.
Okay.
Okay,
All
dumb
all right,
question.
because that's what I was concerned about. Okay.
If we're still waiting for stuff, why was this scheduled for the 2nd?
Because
Just
we
pass it up the line.
Because at the time that it was scheduled for the 2nd, we expected to receive the additional documentation prior to the 2nd.
We were trying to work with the applicant.
Yes, we were trying to speed
Right.
things along. However, that hasn't happened. And just for everybody's information, I ran across something on another town's website today, which might be useful to us, which is to put in each agenda that if there is a weather delay or a lack of a quorum at any meeting, that the hearings would be continued to a date certain that would be in the agenda. And that would absolve us from having to renotice for a weather event as we did on December 2nd.
I think that is a good idea.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes.
So that's an automatic on every agenda item.
Yeah.
Every public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So when you put out the agenda, there's a clause at the bottom.
A notice at the bottom that says,
Yeah.
as I just described, that's
Yeah.
right.
No, that would be great. Yeah.
Did the applicant
lost, oh, there we go. We're back online.
Go ahead, Roger.
Well, let's, Timothy's going to check and make sure that it's coming through. Do you need a test up there? All right, I'll give you a test 1, 2. For anybody that's interested, last Friday was National Sound Check Day. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Check, check, check.
All right, Roger, do you want to repeat your comment?
I was just inquiring as to whether the applicant's agent had received any correspondence outlining what it was we were requesting.
No, I believe, I don't know if he received any correspondence. I know it was made clear to him at the public hearing, and I will follow up with the interim planner to find out if that was communicated to him in writing.
So right after that meeting, Bill Scott sent out a full outline of the conditions and the requests that were requested.
Send it to the applicant or to the agent?
Well, I got a copy of it, so it must
Okay.
have, yes.
It was sent, whether he
It was
received it.
sent.
But it was sent, all right, very
It
good,
was
thank
sent.
you. Thank you, John. Any public comment?
Ann Blodgett. I just heard something that,
You're good, I hear you.
okay. I just heard something that, I have a thought. I think you should go to the town manager and ask how he's dealing with the applicants. Because I went to the budget committee last night and I can tell you, it's probably the last thing on his mind. And the people who worked with him on the search before, they have that experience and they have the baseline of working to bring Bill Scott online, and to have that go to waste would be a shame.
Thank you, Ann.
Thanks.
All right. If there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.